back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Ask Me Anything. That's right. You get to ask the questions that are burning deep inside of you that you want to know the answers to. That's right. I also give you inside scoops of what's going on here at Paid Network, and only the things that you tune into that you get to find out firsthand what's going on in the exciting world of Paid Network, Master Ventures, and House of DAO. So thank you guys. You are the loyal ones who tune in every single week. And we are the community that will build Paid Network to a top project. So thank you again, everybody, for being here. I appreciate your time. And I am here to answer the questions that you have. So let's get this party started. What's up, everybody? Sorry I'm a little late. I was just filming another video. So if you've been paying attention to this YouTube channel, we have stepped up the production quite a bit. If you saw the last video on AOs and the other one on is this the end of the bull market? Of course, if you guys watch my stuff and realize that I'm a perma bull, the answer is always no. It's always always a bull market for now anyway. So anyway, that's just filmed another video on the top 3 upcoming DeFi projects, and that's really exciting. So make sure you check that out. That should be live tomorrow, I think, or something. So anyway, let's get into some updates first before we dive into the questions. So let's see. Let's start with the least fun questions first, and the least fun updates. Number 1 is finally we have some resolution with the whole gate situation. I know this does not apply to most of you. However, it does apply to some. And, we have always told you, no matter how much you guys spam those have affected, spam the comments and blah, 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 and you have every right to do so. This is a, freedom of speech and freedom to say what you want to say. And I support you for that. So as I promised, we did not forget about anybody. It was just really difficult and pretty much impossible to work with Gate.io. We had a call with them last week and told them, what our proposal was and how we move forward with it. And of course, on the call, everything seemed legit. And the next day they released an article basically talking about us and not such nice ways. And so we decided, screw that. What we're going to do is open up a claim form, and anybody affected can go out and fill out the claim form, and we will deal with you directly. And it has been very smooth ever since then. I think something like 200 people have already done it. And if any of you are still wondering about the Gate.io situation, please just go fill out the form in the comments below, and we will handle that. Second question is, or second item on the agenda is the Lucky 7 airdrop. Thank you to everybody who has been a diamond hand. Diamond hands are the way that you win in crypto. If you have diamond hands, you're gonna come up, right? So basically, all of you who qualify, the snapshot is happening today, and we will take some time to actually make sure that all the numbers are calculated and do those validations. And we will make sure to airdrop your 10% bonus of your wallet to your wallets next week. I don't have an exact date, and I don't want to promise because I'm not the one doing the work, and I don't want to make promises for other people on my team, and I don't know the exact day, but you will get your tokens next week. Next. What's up next? Okay, let's see. So I had a really cool dev call about 2 hours ago with our dev team, who was just kicking ass left and right. We hired a new Rust developer, which is really exciting. So now we have like 3 Rust developers on our team. Talk about some serious substrate development that we're going to be working on now. Things like Web3 grants, Substrate Builders program, building out all the different substrate, blockchain protocols and palettes and things like that to put together our substrate chain. My goal would be for Paid Network to, at least be connected to Polkadot or Kusama via Parathread in the next, 4 or 5 months, and ultimately to be in a parachain, in the next 6 months or 7 months or so. So that's the Polkadot news. As far as BSC, I haven't been using BSC much, but we did get some activity on BSC recently, and we sent a lot of value on BSC, and it was amazing. so much better than ETH. I know it's not as decentralized and blah blah blah, but in the interim, until things like Polkadot and Cardano and Solana, scale out, BSC is a great protocol, and it was amazing. It was like we sent a lot of money and value, and the whole thing was done in like 20 seconds and cost 15 cents. And then I sent another transaction of just BNB, and it cost like 6 cents. So that's awesome. So we should have on Ignition, Binance Smart Chain native launches. That means that the project will raise money in either BNB or BUSD, and you will be purchasing BEP20 or Binance Smart Chain native tokens, which then means you'll go on to PancakeSwap or SushiSwap afterwards, and the whole thing is just quicker and cheaper, which is nice. It's very nice, including our bridge that we'll have where you can convert your ERC20 paid tokens to BEP20 tokens, and then you can go use those on things like PancakeSwap or SushiSwap or whatever. Just send them to your friends or whatever you want to do using BSC instead of Ethereum. Hooray for that. Let's see what else I got in the pipeline. Yeah, so on the dev call, also we had lots of really great updates. We're doing a lot of cool things, from updating the backend development to make everything more autonomous on our end. So this right now, the way it was built initially, it was not built the best, and so there was a lot of manual work that we had to do for each of the IDOs, which one little mistake could really screw up a launch. And you guys have seen the first few launches that were not very smooth, and this will eliminate all of those kind of manual mistakes, and that's very exciting for us. Let's see. Also, I can tell you, okay, so since there's not a lot of people on here yet, I'll give you, I hinted at this last week, and I might as well just tell you about this now, because we'll make the official announcement, I think, on Friday or something. But basically, we get so many project requests to launch on Ignition, and we want to make Ignition a launchpad that really works with the projects hand in hand to make sure that they have big, successful launches. And so we have started implementing a lot of requirements for projects that want to launch an Ignition that we think will help make the launches very exciting. What does that look like? That looks like Master Ventures making an investment into the project. So we have skin in the game. That means that we help them with things like onboarding KOLs, influencers, strategic partners, things like that. So we use our network to help these projects with basically, to bring more attention to them. So unlike a lot of other launch pads, we're very actively engaged. And then we also ask them to make sure that they're not doing small, tiny raises on Ignition, because that's not good for any of us, right? So if a project wants to come and do a $100,000 public sale on paid, that's not very nice for you guys, for us, right? Because there's a lot of you who are holding paid tokens that want an opportunity to participate in IDOs. And if there's only $100,000 to go around a community of 15,000 people, it just doesn't leave a lot of room on the table. So we've been asking projects to do a lot more, minimum $200,000 raises, but we're working on getting that number up even higher. With all of this being said, there's a lot of projects that come along that we think are good, and we're interested in them. However, they don't meet these requirements. So instead of just passing them off to another launchpad, we listened to you guys, our community, heard what you were saying, and decided to deliver to you what you were asking for. What is that? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you about Apollo X. Apollo X, dark side of the moon, baby. This is the Kusama to ignition. This is basically the analogy of Polkadot and Kusama, where ignition would be Polkadot and Apollo X would be Kusama, the wild canary cousin of ignition. Less tested, no promises, just basically a fork of ignition, but where we can still offer great projects more often and for a wider audience. So where ignition, has our current lottery model that benefits larger token holders, and a lot of the smaller token holders don't get a chance to participate, Apollo X changes the game. What do I mean? We're going to be adopting a model similar to something like BSC Pad or Trust Swap, where if you hold a minimum amount of paid tokens, you get guaranteed allocation. So I don't know exactly what that system will look like yet, what kind of tiers there will be, how much allocation will go around, but the request has been overwhelming for people to be able to participate, and we want to make sure that we have all aspects covered. So we will have now 2 launch pads, one that basically is pure game theory on the more paid that you hold, the better chances you have to win, and the more allocation you can invest into these projects. That will be ignition. And Apollo X, dark side of the moon, will be more for everybody. And you might get less allocation, but at least you're guaranteed to get something. So that's pretty exciting. Plus, we've got an amazing team working with us on Apollo X. So the criteria is that we still have to approve the project. So you still have that level of due diligence from us to say that, hey, we believe this is a good project. And there will be a team that we have basically absorbed that is amazing when it comes down to supporting the projects, from content creation, videos, GIFs, memes, stickers, basically marketing and influencer onboarding. So Apollo X will still have tremendous support from an extension of our team, or now what has become our team. Let me just exit Discord because I don't use it anymore and it's annoying. Hold on, there we go. So that is Apollo X, and that's exciting, I guess. So, I mean, not I guess, it's very exciting. Okay, let me get into some questions. Hey guys, have you received just John? Nope. John Franco, I covered that earlier. Basically, that this snapshot happens today, and these tokens will be distributed next week. Rock and roll, exactly. I think I asked you this question last time. You're in Bangkok? Come down to Pangan. Please elaborate on the difference between MV, fuel, and paid. Good question. So for those of you who are not familiar with, excuse me, for those of you who are not familiar with kind of our structure, basically, I got in crypto 2012, and 2017 started investing and advising projects, and the demand for advising was quite tremendous, and a lot of projects wanted to work with me. However, I didn't have the capacity to actually support all these projects. So I started building a team. That team became Master Ventures. Master Ventures grew, and as an investment and advisory. And in 2019, we pivoted into a venture studio model where we started building projects in-house. That's where Paid was born. And so Paid Network is Paid, the smart agreements, and basically Ignition is another Master Ventures product spun out under a kind of venture studio, also giving Paid more utility. And MV Fuel is our incubation department. So Master Ventures team under our umbrella consists of about 60 plus team members. And as you've seen, some projects coming through Paid have been incubated by Master Ventures Fuel. Projects like Split and AOs, and now Shield Finance and Argo. So, and then we got more on the works as well. Vega Swap coming up. So MV Fuel is basically, kind of the idea is usually when we come a project that, let's say, has a really amazing developer team, great products, they just have no idea how to go to market. We understand how to go to market. We understand the marketing aspects, the influencers, KOLs, content creation, social media management, building up that hype and excitement and awareness of the project. And that's kind of where MV Fuel comes in. And then we encourage a project to, during this process of us supporting them in the interim, leading up to the launch, and then a little bit after the launch, we also encourage a project to bring in-house a CMO in the marketing department, and we help train them as well. So we leave them with a blueprint of how to do the marketing. We give them all of the KOLs and influencers in a Telegram group that they can use to do all their marketing and propagating their news throughout the cryptoverse. That's what MV Fuel is. Hey, Kyle, can you give us a word about Moonswap? Do you have some updates about the project? I don't stay up to date about Moonswap too much. I mean, last I heard there was a rumor that like people from Alibaba or something were behind it. So what do we know about Moonswap? If you haven't seen this before, we know that the parent company of Moonswap is Conflux. It's its own blockchain. And we know that the government of China invested in Conflux, therefore invested in Moonswap as well. I've used it. It's a little clunky, but there's no fees and it works quite well. And that's all I know right now about Moonswap, and except for the rumors I told you. Hey, Kyle, you're really changing the lives of people. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for appreciating that and noticing. This is my goal right now in life. If you guys don't know, in 2016 and 17, I attempted this idea of retirement, and that was horrible. So, if you haven't read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, I suggest that you do so. I just remember reading the book when I was like 16 years old or something. And he talks in the book about, when you become financially free. And what that means is being able to afford what you want, when you want, without worrying about if you can afford it or not. He said, make sure that you take a year off. And I remember the book, like as he goes back and forth, and he's saying like, why would you take a year off? Why not just retire for the rest of your life, and not ever work again? And then he goes on to saying that like, if you have the that kind of drive and dedication to be fortunate enough to become financially free at a relatively young age, more than likely, you're not going to have the mindset to do nothing for the rest of your life. And certainly that's what happened to me. By 2017, I became completely, I felt like useless and had I had no purpose in life. And going back into a crypto conference late 2017 is when I realized, that my life's calling, my purpose in life was to help move this revolution along and try to encourage people to participate. And that's what I'm doing here. And that's really what my goal is. So thank you for noticing. Appreciate that. AOS is a gem. That is for sure. For sure. If you haven't seen my video on it, go on to my YouTube here, check it out. I do a quick, concise video, tells you exactly why this is true. AOS is a gem. Hey, Kyle, with so many new launchpads cropping up, will Paid's value be weakened? Hey, Paul, good question. I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. Because one could have made the argument of the type of lottery model that we're using. But now that we're building Apollo X and we will have the guaranteed allocations for people, now we have the best of both worlds. So that doesn't become a problem anymore. Two is we're much more than a Launchpad. We're a sort of a full service go-to-market kind of pad. Where most other Launchpads, all they do is retweet your announcement, and that's kind of it. We hold hands, we actively get involved with the projects that launch on Ignition and make sure that they're more successful because they went with us than anybody else. And we get so many projects referred to us because everyone that's worked with us knows how much work we put into the projects that launch on Ignition versus any other type of Launchpad. We really put in a ton of work. We have a huge team dedicated to supporting the projects. And third is our diligence. There's a lot of other projects that are launching other Launchpads, and I won't name names, but they're just not the best projects or not the best quality. You need, in my opinion, someone who is spearheading the Launchpad that has experience in deal flow, who has experience investing, who has experience vetting projects, and can confidently, pass those on to their community. I think that's a huge differentiator of paid versus other Launchpads, is us doing that due diligence for projects. And I think that's what the community kind of comes to expect. I think when people look back at the success of the Launchpads, they will see that paid was probably the best or one of the best when it comes to ROI and the projects that actually have longevity. So I think those are the key differentiators on us versus other Launchpads. Thanks, Harvey. I love this. I love this thing. It is amazing little toy. Okay, so thank you, Angela. Thank you. Hey, Tomas. Hi, Kyle. Happy to see you. Thank you for keeping your word regarding compensation for blind boxes. Idea went really smooth. Let's go paid. Absolutely, man. I mean, when we say we're going to do something, we do it, and you will, learn that about us. We keep our word, and you don't have to worry about that at all. And yeah, I mean, it's for their first 5 IDOs or something, it was anything but smooth, and the stress behind the scenes was unreal, and now it's become so smooth. It's just like boring now, so, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing because we got plenty of other work to do than handle malfunctions and bugs and things like that. So yay for us. Hey, Kyle, I want to thank you for giving 1 golden ticket for every IDO this week. You're welcome. Did we do that? That's great. What did I have for breakfast? Harvey, I didn't eat breakfast. I had some coffee. And this morning, so I shot. This is my 3rd media thing today I did. Not to mention like all the other work day I had, but I woke up, shot a video, went to work, did an IDO, shot another video, and now hopped on this AMA. So, but for lunch, we had an amazing lunch. We're fortunate enough here to have like a world-class chef that makes lunch for us every single day. And you too could have that experience if you just come to House of DAO and come hang out with us. Hey, Kyle, could you let us know what happened with AOs? Any news? Because they're so quiet. Thanks. They're working, they're working, getting things done. They have, they hit something like 20,000 nodes last week. So the network is growing very, very strong. And and believe me when I tell you that they're putting in a lot of work. So, the team has always been about actually delivering and executing. And I know, and I can't tell you I can't be as forthcoming with behind the scenes developments with other projects. With paid, I can because I'm the boss, right? So I can tell you what's going on and I won't get in trouble. But with other projects, I can only tell you that big things are happening, very, very big things. And those announcements will come soon. And AOS is one of those projects that they're not going to string you along with a bunch of like fake partnerships and hype and stuff like this. They're building real partnerships with real use cases with a lot of institutions and businesses. And, you know, I think that when these partnerships come to light, people realize just how much the network's being used, it's going to explode very, very quickly. And you won't want to miss that. You will want to be on that ship when it sails. That's for sure. Hasami, why is it that we can't claim our tokens at the same time as Uniswap listing? You shouldn't try to dump your tokens anyway. Come on. Why are you worried about it? You know, hodl these things. These are all you guys are getting purchasing platinum, you know, at the price of copper right now. You should be hodling these things. But to answer your question, our IDO platform is a decentralized fixed price swapping protocol, meaning that it's done on a smart contract, and the team who's doing their IDO gains control or ownership of that smart contract. So basically, they need to finalize the smart contract and manually, and when they do that, then you're able to go claim your tokens. Now, for any of you guys who don't understand how important it is, I'll tell you. So the project needs to make sure that they first add liquidity to their DEXs. It's really important. For Uniswap, for example, if they allowed you to claim tokens before they open up the liquidity pool on Uniswap, somebody could go take their token and open up that Uniswap liquidity pool, and then they would own the liquidity pool, the Uniswap pool for that project, and that would be disaster. The projects themselves should be the one that open the liquidity pools on Uniswap. Because a malicious actor, if they were to open the pool before the project, they could set the start price for the token at like $10,000, and it would totally screw up the pool to where it was useless. And, you know, just so you know, only one pool can be created per trading pair per smart contract, token contract. So, for example, it's AOS. You know, only one AOS and ETH trading pair can be created, or AOS and USDT pair can be created, for example. So that's why you can't claim your tokens at the exact same time. However, it should be fairly quickly after that pool is open that you can claim your tokens. Hey, Kyle, will the launch pool airdrop be eligible for the 10% bonus? I don't know exactly what you mean by this, but basically, to be eligible for the 10% tokens, you need to have just not sold your tokens since the time of the attack till today. I don't know what would happen. I don't remember how the resolution of the launch pool tokens got sorted out, and I don't know the answer to that. I am sorry. I don't know. It's a good question. I wish I could answer it. Please ask in our community, and I'm sure one of the mods or Ryan or something will get it sorted for you. Super farm and paid, gang. Yeah, super paid. There's a few things we got in the works. From what I understand, super farms super pad will be completed quite soon. As you guys may or may not know, we have the Globe DX launch happening, I think, on Friday. That's going to be huge. Really excited about that. When paid, token utility like staking, IDO only is what we see, dump scheme. So paid staking should be enabled within the next 2 weeks, I think. That was also in the dev call we had earlier. Developer said it was on track, but I didn't get the exact time that would be ready, but I think it should be within a couple weeks. In May, we will see a lot of developments and improvements to paid and ignition. What happened to Split? I don't know. What did happen to Split? Like, I think I know what you're asking this question. Like, what happened? Why did the price decrease? Blah, blah, blah. You guys, like, people have to have a little bit of patience in this space. You know, I'm not sure how long a lot of you have been around for, but you know, some of my biggest investments ever, or the biggest ones, were ones that I purchased in 2017 or 18 and have held until today, like Elrond, like Thorchain. You know, these projects need time to mature. What you should be doing, in my opinion, isn't trying to get the 2, 4, 10, 15x. You should be going for the 1000x and doing your research and projects you believe have potential to be the next Thorchain or Elrond, you know, and looking for these projects. I believe that projects like Split and AOS are these next projects, and you just have to give them some time. You know, the teams are working on incredible things, and I've worked with both of them for a long time, especially Split for years. So be patient. Just remember how difficult it is, you know, to get a project up and going and then actually have adoption and use cases. I mean, one more thing too is, like, if you look at the top 50 market cap, none of those coins came around in the past 6 months. You know, if maybe some projects will make an appearance quickly and then they'll fall back down because it was some type of crazy pump and dump thing. But you know, most of these things take a long time to get up to that you know, that kind of market cap. Friday, I will have my first IDO on what fees must I count. I know I cannot give exact numbers, but it seems there are a lot of differences. So for the fees, you know, we've tried to make ignition in a way that that isn't like other launch pads that are first come, first serve, where you have to have a gas war. So one of the things that you'll notice if you go to Ignition and watch one of the launches, our pools don't sell out in 2 minutes or a minute. You know, some of them take 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to sell out. Why is that? Because people who participate on a regular basis know that they don't have to spend $500 on gas to get their deal in. So we basically slightly over allocate and allow people to take their time and just spend kind of whatever gas is you know, on the Ethereum network right now, and soon it'll be BSC. So you don't need to spend outrageous amounts of gas. You can kind of just do it in a casual way. So, you know, I know that some people messaged me today saying they spent $15 on gas for their IDO. Best regards from Mexico. Man, I miss the refried beans and flour tortillas. Mexico, whereabouts? Mexico. Quick question. So you got a massive IDO week going with IDO every day. However, the price keeps plummeting despite this rockstar week. Any indication why? Where is the price going if no ideas? Yeah, so so Saturday, we had a token released to the private sale investors. You know, a lot of the investors want to take profits, and that's exactly what you see. You know, there's been a lot of people that have come to us that want to get to Galaxy or Cosmo tiers, and these are good opportunities for them to do so. You know, the fact is that we had a major market correction, and when the market started to turn around, we had our private sale token release, which was like, at the time, something like $38 million worth of tokens released into the market. So that's where sell pressure is coming from right now. So don't be worried. Fundamentals are strong, very strong. We have the second Launchpad coming that we're launching to benefit token holders. Not to mention, our parachain insight, Polkadot ecosystem, things like that. So fundamentals are still extremely strong. And if anything, use this opportunity to stack up if that's what you feel like doing. Not financial advice, of course, but just saying what other people are doing. You still not give our money to the scamper. Mustafa, I'm sorry. I'm going to put you on a timeout because you're annoying. Timeout for you, scamper. Okay, moving on. George, I talked about the gate holders before. Maybe I'm not sure where this question came in. Oh, that was a long time ago. Okay, I already answered it. Let me just try to catch up on the questions here. Okay, what do I think about Blockbank? Blockbank is a cool product. It has they have a banking license and actually have a working product with actual customers. I don't know. I think it's like 50,000 customers right now or something. They did it. It's a large raise, and they didn't do a ton of marketing, but because they raised a lot of money, they can do a lot of marketing, and their goal is to really onboard the non-crypto native, the rest of the world, the 99% who aren't in crypto yet. And I think that's a compelling use case. I can imagine that Blockbank becomes something like a Nexo or a Celsius of that caliber. I know the team behind it's very sound, and I like the idea that it's a working product and real customers already. Sean, thanks for taking Kyle, thanks for taking the time to connect with us every week. Sean, I wouldn't miss it for the world, man. Love being here. Hey, Kyle, could you tell me more about the Master Ventures LP? How long will it be locked? Plus, do we see it as an index? 1 second. Okay, so the Master Ventures LP fund is a Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem fund. And I will be doing basically a webinar in about 2 weeks for anyone that's interested in learning more about it in detail. The funds will be locked up for 2 years, from what I understand. I don't know the exact details, but there will be like payouts, profit payouts, and I think it's like either quarterly or every 6 months or something like that. I don't know the details because some of my team, specifically Orion, is doing most of the setup and administrative work on it. So I don't know the answers to that. However, the offering should be done quite soon, and all these details will be available in the webinar that we host. And if you would like to stay on top of that, get updates, please join the Master Ventures community on Telegram. And if you're interested in participating in the fund, you can fill out the interest form that's pinned in the Master Ventures community chat. What's the timeline for BSC, PancakeSwap, and so on? So I mentioned this earlier, but I guess you asked this about 30 minutes ago. So it's about, I think we're about 2 weeks away from having BSC, Pancake, and so on. The book changed my life as well. Yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad, amazing if you guys haven't read it. Greetings from Phuket, Kyle. Great news about Apollo X. When do we expect the first IDO? Greetings from Koh Phangan, Nigel. Hope that things are going okay for you over there in Phuket, and lockdowns and things aren't too crazy. We are estimating the first IDO on Apollo X to be, our goal is June 1st. Don't hold me to that, but that's our goal. Oh my God, the thing just jumped down all my questions here. Kyle, to date, what project brings out your inner moon boy other than paid? It's BitClout. BitClout, when I first read about, was the one that kept me up for a week and couldn't get my mind off of it. And I think that is going to go parabolic soon. They're rolling out some really serious updates and they're delivering what they promised. BitClout. Why is everyone talking about the end of alt season at the end of this year or next? If the company is a real value, which I believe many do, why will the price collapse? This is a great question, and I think that you're right in a lot of ways. It just depends on how mature the project is and how much adoption that project has in the real world. So if the project, let's say that paid, was adopted on a global level and millions of people around the world were using it and they needed, the paid tokens to do their work and do their jobs and use application, even if a bear market came, the price probably wouldn't drop very much because that is real utility and adoption. To date, we haven't really seen any project, not even Bitcoin yet, be adopted on that level yet. And I believe the same is true for Bitcoin. When we hit a saturation point where pretty much everyone that will buy Bitcoin has, I also expect the price to stabilize a lot and not really see bear and bull markets for Bitcoin. I believe one day it'll reach a saturation point when it becomes a world reserve currency where it fluctuates very little, plus or minus 1% to 2% the entire year. As an asset class is new, there's more volatility, but as it becomes adopted and matures, the volatility decreases and price stabilizes. So that's all up to adoption. And in 2018, we saw a major market correction and all the alts plummeted because none of them had real world massive utility yet. Some of them had utility in the crypto space, but that's not adoption, right? That's a small market compared to the rest of the world. So we have to see this level of adoption happening before we can avoid pullbacks in a bear market. Will Ignition launch projects on BSC chain too? Yep, 100%. We should have that functionality in 2 weeks. I think our first project will be on the 24th of May. What are those pictures behind me? They're like, it's like old Pepsi and Coca-Cola advertisements. This is a villa that we rent, so I didn't argue with the art. That's what they are. Hey Kyle, as a concept, maybe if you want to look at is a card starter insurer benefit, maybe it'd be good for paid as well. Okay, let me just make a note of that real quick. Starter insurer. Okay, I took a note. Thank you for that. One will be listed on some sexes. If you've been watching the show, you know that that really we're not really bothered with tier 2 exchanges, and with our soon being able to be traded on PancakeSwap, SushiSwap, and Polkadot, and some other like zero fees, layer 2 scaling solutions, things like that. There's not so much of an urgency to go for a centralized exchange. I mean, we're just, we have our investment from Binance, and right now it's just about speaking with the listing team. From what I understand, they're going through reorganization right now, so it's just a little bit of a matter of time and patience. All the large exchanges are very, very bureaucratic and take time to go through that process. So it is what it is. Hey, Kyle, any plans to incorporate BitClout Pay tokens? I mentioned this before, and probably yes in the future. Probably yes. I can't say exactly what, but in the previous AMAs, I've kind of covered this a bit. And probably yes, we just need to make sure. I'm just waiting for a bit more, even though I feel confident in BitClout's legitimacy. I want to make sure that that the BitClout tokens can be traded on secondary market and exchanges list it. As soon as that happens, we'll start looking at exploring how to integrate my tokens, Kyle, and Master Ventures tokens and paid tokens, because I like the BitClout idea and I think that we should, but we haven't yet. Dan, yeah, Globe DX is definitely one of the best, the highest quality projects that I've seen this year for sure. Very, very excited for that one. And it's a huge, huge, huge allocation for those of you who, who have not had a chance to win before. I mean, I think we're doing a $2 million raise on Globe. So yeah, if you're participating, you're probably going to win. Is it Carl? Is this actually you, or is this some imitator of you? But if that's you, Carl, I'm bullish on Carl, the moon, also. Headed back to live on Copenhagen shortly. Looking forward to connecting with you and the team. Cool. Don't know who you are, but looking forward to seeing you, I guess. All right. Kyle, what do you think of the overall market for DeFi currently? It seems oversaturated. Even good projects are not launching very well at all. The video I just made that will be released probably tomorrow is all about DeFi and my thoughts on it. And the reason that projects aren't launching very well is because, in my opinion, everyone is rushing to launch. Everybody is trying to take advantage of the bull market and not properly launching. They're not taking their time. And everyone I talk to now, this is another thing I think that's really going to separate Ignition is, if a project wants to launch in 3 weeks from now and their community is 1,000 people or 500 people, which I see this all the time. And I'm like, what about your marketing? What are you trying to do? They're like, oh yeah, well, we were hoping that your Launchpad would fix that problem. And it's like, no, man, we're not, you can't count on us to help you to do all your marketing for you. You need to do that yourself. So right now, if someone wants to launch an Ignition, unless they have a huge community already, if they're kind of just starting to do that, I'm suggesting 6 to 8 weeks for them before they launch to do proper marketing and awareness. And I think that's the problem. It's not DeFi. It's projects are making mistakes, in my opinion, by rushing to market. And that's why they have lackluster launches. When Paid did marketing like 2 or 3 months before our launch, for a split, same thing, 2 or 3 months of marketing before the launch. And that's why it was very successful. That's the model that projects should go with, in my opinion. Just want to put this out there. Paid literally changed my life. Much love and respect. Owe the Paid team a lot. Would love an opportunity to learn more and work for Paid if allowed. Hey, man, amazing to hear. Thank you for sharing that with us. Really makes me very happy to hear these kind of things. And we definitely got a lot of messages like this. The first month after we launched or something, and it was super rewarding to hear these stories. And we hope to continue to change lives out of everything that we do over time. So thanks for sharing. Would like to say thanks, Kyle, for all the idea wins. Hi, and neighbor from Koh Samui. Would love to come visit your place. I don't know how to say your name. Is it Uzil? Amir? Hi, I can see you from my house. That's Felix. Yeah, they're cool. Feel free to come over to Kopanyang and say hi to us. Hey, but how about helping change the lives of Americans who got screwed over on everything crypto, letting us and on the LP, at least for accredited investors? Please, pretty please, John, I feel ya, brother. I'll tell you what I'll do at least, is I will look into, let me just make a note real quick. Okay, I made a note. I will look into it. I can't promise anything. It was just doing anything with the United States just opens up unnecessary liability. And I am sorry that that you happen to be born in America. It's funny. 10 years ago, everyone would have said that you're blessed for being, born in America. Now it's a curse. I feel the pain. Anyway, I will see what I can do, John. Stay tuned in the Master Ventures group for updates, and yeah, go USA. The moon does hold a lot of paid, that's for sure. One of the early seed investors, Mr. Carl. Do you consider an app for Ignition where I can also store my paid, something more secure? Yeah, totally. So we are integrating right now Wallet Connect, which is a seamless way to connect your hardware wallet with Ignition. So you can hold all of your pay tokens in a hardware wallet and still seamlessly connect to the Ignition platform. That will be a very big relief because I do encourage everyone to store their assets on hardware wallets. And I think that should be in 1 or 2 weeks. It's amazing. There's a lot of people in the hood from Thailand. Good to see a lot of locals popping up. When you coming down the hill for good coffee at Buddha Cafe, man, I got to do it one of these days. I got to do it. It's ridiculous that I haven't. Shame on me for not taking a Thursday morning, get some coffee and hang out with you guys. I will make it an effort to do that one of these days. It's just hard. There's a lot of work to do, and but it does. I should definitely do it. Michael, I got a question. First, you're a powerhouse. Second, what is in the works for having increase in likelihood of winning lottery allocation if you have yet to win allocations yet? Michael, if you haven't, if you didn't see the beginning of the live stream or the AMA, please check it out. I announced Apollo X. Apollo X is going to adopt a lottery system like TrustSwap or BSC Pad, where just holding a minimum amount of paid will get everyone a guaranteed allocation. So there's your answer. Hey, Kyle, I appreciate regular updates. To make sure you launch quality projects, do you reject projects? Also, if they're not up to mark, what would be the percentage acceptance rate currently. So yeah, definitely, we do reject probably about 90% of the projects that we are approached with. So we have a quite small acceptance rate. Yeah, that's it. We do quite severe due diligence and try to deliver what we believe to be the best ones out there. ETH network is so trash. Been pending paid transactions since the stream started. Yeah. Yeah, I can see why everyone loves Binance Smart Chain for sure. Okay, guys, I'm trying to, when Rupert coin, I know exactly. We're supposed to have a Polkadot already, and for some reason we don't yet. So I just need to figure out what's going on with that. Okay, guys, I'm almost out of time here. I guess we still have a few more minutes, so let me try to see what's some interesting questions. Hey, David, what APY for staking roughly? So it's not going to be it's not going to be huge. I think it's going to be somewhere in the ballpark of 10%. We already believe that the upside comes from the ability to participate in these IDOs, but we still want to give additional upside for people that choose to stake with us for a long period of time, and probably will be a higher percent the longer you stake as well. AOs and split both have bad token economics. Ali, I would disagree with you on that one. Feel free to debate me in that, but I respectfully disagree with your opinion there. To all of us asking why dump, AOs, split, etc., I say paper hand selling so you can accumulate. Exactly. Exactly. Stan, this is a good idea. Good question. Why do projects launch tokens before creating utility or incentives to hodl? It's a great question, and I wish that projects would ask themselves this question before launching. Sometimes, you wouldn't believe how many projects I get on the call with, and they tell me this idea, and maybe it's like this NFT marketplace or this guy that's going to take some NFTs and make the non-fungible token fungible, and they're going to make it non-fungible again, and they're going to collateralize, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, cool, what's the use case of your token? They're like, oh, it's for governance. And I'm like, do you realize that people don't actually participate in governance right now? Like, oh, well, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. It's like, you have to be careful. This is what I should be, what everyone should be paying attention to is before you invest in a project, before you look at a project, find out what the utility is of that token. And then you ask yourself this question: could this project survive or be useful without a token? If the answer is yes, it's probably a very bad investment. And that's important to realize. Harvey, I won my first golden ticket for Globe, apart from Strong Hands bonus, as only have 1,000 tokens. So pumped. Howled for so many months, but now I've never given up. I can't wait to ride this forever. Harvey, congratulations, man. That makes me super happy. I'm stoked that you're stoked. And I think that Globe is going to do very, very well. Very, very well. It's a massive project. Kyle, I've created a Crypto Cavalier NFT for paid. Love to show you and do a giveaway to the community. Awesome. I would suggest going to our community and talking to the admins and trying to tell them, or DM me on Twitter or something. I don't know, but that's cool. Interested in checking it out. Thoughts on unfederal reserve? I don't know what that is. Sounds interesting. Ali, can you explain to me why you think having 5% circulating supply is a bad thing? I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but you have to give me some type of logical reason why you believe this. Because I personally don't think it's a bad thing. Yes, we'll have a high initial market cap compared to the fully diluted valuation. But if the project continues to provide value and people want to buy the token over time, then it makes sense, or it's fine to do that. Additionally, if they sell less tokens up front, that means they raise less money, which puts less investor money at risk. So in case the project doesn't survive, tens of millions of dollars haven't gone down the drain. So in this model, it requires that a project actually provides value and proves to the market that they deserve, more demand to increase their token price. And if they do that, then they can sell some tokens into the market, to increase their, their operating capital. So they're just different thought processes on these different projects and how they raise capital and the different token metrics behind it. Okay. Guys, I love you, but I gotta go. Been one hell of a day. And thank you guys so much for coming. Appreciate your time being here and your support and all of that good stuff. And I will see you guys later. Come here, Reaper. Come.